Hello everybody, welcome to another Rick's Picks. So, the new Masters of the Universe trailer just dropped recently and I'm excited to talk about it. I'm a huge Masters of the Universe fan. I've been a fan ever since the line literally first came out. So, I'm really happy and excited to talk about this. So, without any further ado, roll that intro. Okay, so this isn't going to be a play-by-play video. This is going to be mainly me going over what I like about, what I don't like about this trailer, and my final thoughts on it. So, right off the cuff, we start out with this beautiful picture of Eternia with Zor flying through the air, and I love it. Actually, probably in this, it's probably the Sorceress, not Zor, but still, it looks beautiful. I love this picture. And then you get this really, really cool look at Castle Grayskull. Excuse me. I love this picture of Castle Grayskull. Matter of fact, going through the whole trailer, you see some really beautiful pictures of Castle Grayskull that I really like. You know, I think Castle Grayskull looks really cool. Then we get a really good look at the Power Sword. I love this view of the Power Sword. The Power Sword looks great. And I want to go back to this. You see this jet flying here. Now, we're not getting a really, really good look at it, but what it looks like to me, and I'm hoping it's this, it looks like the Talon Fighter. I would love to see the Talon Fighter in this. Talon Fighter has always been one of my favorite vehicles of the Masters of the Universe line. Matter of fact, you can see my Origins one right there on top of Grayskull. So I find that really, really cool that they actually have something that I'm hoping is the Talon Fighter. Now, we start getting into the thick of things, so the Queen is telling Adam, basically, we need to send you away. It's not safe here for you, da-da-da-da. So we're going to send you to Earth. Now, how I would like this to play out, and unfortunately, I don't think it's going to play out this way, but if it does, this would be amazing. It would be amazing if what happened was Adora was kidnapped by Hordak, and he took her away, and fearing that he would come for Adam, that they sent Adam away to the Queen's home world, which is Earth, for safety until they're sure that, you know, they can stop him from coming for him, and then they would come get him. I would think that'd be a great premise. It would work very well with what they're trying to do. But unfortunately, I don't think they're doing that. But if they did, that would be amazing. I would love that right there and then. So, now you get some stuff of him on Earth. You know, you see him at his job. They got the he-him thing, which I think was meant for comic relief, you know, just to be a play on his name, He-Man, and so forth. So I actually find that kind of funny. This shot here of the Barbarian with the sword, as most of us Master of the Universe fans know, is basically the prototype for He-Man. This is the original prototype of what they were going to do with He-Man. So I do like the factor that they kind of threw in this member berry, but it's there. Now, this shot of him trying to get the sword out of the hand kind of makes me a little nervous, all right? It kind of makes him a little too goofy. I feel like this scene looks a little too goofy. Now, when I see the movie, it may be totally different. It may fit in well, but this, you know, kind of makes him look like, you know, a little bit of an adult, but I hope that he isn't like that at all in this, and that, you know, there's more to this. So let's keep on rolling on. So, you know, they do get him. You see some really cool combat scenes. I'm liking a lot of these combat scenes and stuff in this trailer. And then he does this. Boom. Straight from the animation, the Filmation animation. You get the clouds coming down on him. You get the lightning hitting the sword. You hear him say, I have the power. That is amazing. And it looks like they're going to do the whole Filmation transformation in front of Grayskull, the whole 9 yards. And I think if they do that right, that's going to get everybody happy, and we're all going to love that particular scene. So now let's talk about characters. All right. So I feel like they did better with the villains than they did with the heroes. So right off the cuff, we get Skeletor. Now, Skeletor looks amazing. Probably, in my opinion, so far from what I'm seeing, probably the best and most accurate looking one of all of them. Even his Havoc staff looks pretty wicked. Now, my only beef with Skeletor, and most of my beefs with these characters are minor things. They're not stuff that's going to make me say, I'm not going to go see this. No, it's not like that. It's just minor details that I personally would have liked to have seen a little bit different. With Skeletor, probably the only thing I would like to see a little bit different about him is a little bit more yellow in his skull. I would have liked to have that classic Skeletor yellowish skull look. I think that would have just put him right over the top. I mean, he looks amazing as it is, but just having that yellow look to it would just really seal the deal with him. All right. We also get a shot of Beastman. Beastman looks pretty good too. I'm liking the overall look of Beastman. I think he looks great. All right. You also get a back shot of Trapjaw, which has always been one of my favorite characters in the Masters of the Universe lineup. And from the back, he actually looks pretty decent. I know a couple of people kind of had a blurry shot of him from the front. But, you know, that's an iffy picture. I'd rather have, like, clear pictures if I could. So, I think from behind, he actually looks great. You also get Spike Ore. He looks all right for what he is. You know, he doesn't look bad. He doesn't look great. But he's definitely recognizable as Spike Ore. And I don't know if anybody caught this, but this Skeletor ship is actually designed off of the ship from the original Filmation cartoon. So you see the Filmation cartoon, then you see the ship. You can see the similarities. So it looks like, at least with the villains, they're going very much for the look of how they should look in the toys and cartoon. So I'm loving how the villains look. They look amazing. And I feel like they didn't put that much effort into our heroes. All right, so you got He-Man here. I think he looks good. He looks recognizable as He-Man. But something about, like, his chest armor doesn't sit right with me. I can't really explain it. And, of course, a lot of people are going to complain that he isn't, like, a hulking mass of muscle. You know, that has always been their complaint with live-action He-Man. Even with the Dolph Lundgren one, as big as Dolph Lundgren is, people still complain that he wasn't big enough. So, you know, I feel like the actor did try to at least get beefed up enough to look the part. I would have liked to see him a little bit bulkier. But then again, if you think about it, if you go by the 2000X version of He-Man, he wasn't really bulky. He was actually a more slender muscle mass. So maybe they were trying to go for that look. But overall, he isn't a bad looking He-Man. I don't mind the overall look to him. Teela, you know, she does look good for what it is. You know, I do feel like they could have made, you know, her costume a little bit more screen accurate. I mean, I know a lot of people doesn't want to see her like that one piece. But even if they did like the general design of the costume and still maybe gave her leggings or something, it probably still worked. You know, she's recognizable as Teela, but still I feel like her look could have been done a little bit better. All right. Next on that list is Man-at-Arms. I would have liked to have seen his armor bulked up a lot more. I really would have. You know, I would have liked to have seen that bulky, you know, armor coming down his arm. You know, that bulky chest armor and stuff like that. I think that would have looked a lot better than like the slimmed out look, because that's what it feels like with these with the heroes, is that they're trying to slim them down. I just would have liked to have seen them in some cool, really neat, bulky looking armor and what have you. So that's kind of my issues with that, and a few other issues ain't worth mentioning. But anywho, you got Roboto. I'm not liking the look of Roboto. I feel like they could have done a lot more to make him look like the original character from the cartoons and the toy line, especially seeing how well they done with other characters. I feel like they could have done a lot more with him, made him a lot better looking. So Roboto, he's probably, out of all the characters, he's probably the biggest miss for me is Roboto. As for Battle Cat / Cringer, because I don't know what he's supposed to be in this. I'm not so sure if he's supposed to be Cringer at this moment or Battle Cat. But what I would love to see is a picture of him in full-blown Battle Cat armor. That would be amazing. That I would love to see. This right here is all right. You know, they're not going to show us the whole movie in a trailer, so I will give them that. So Battle Cat looks all right in this. And then you get Fisto. From what I see of the pictures of Fisto, Fisto looks really good. I'm liking the overall look to him. They don't show any real pictures of the sorceress, so I'm not going to really say I like or dislike because we only kind of got like a back picture of her in this trailer. The same with Evil Lynn. You only got a quick headshot, so I'm not going to say whether I like how she looks or doesn't like how she looks because I didn't feel like I got enough input from her look to say whether or not she looks good or doesn't. So that for the most part, is all the characters. But what I did see is this real quick shot. If you look in this corner here, you can actually see Mechaneck in there. So that would be pretty cool if they bring Mechaneck in. You know, he isn't like a top tier character, but he was always a cool character. I always had fun with him and what have you. So that's the lineup of characters. So far, I'm pretty hip with the characters. I don't have any major issues with any of the characters. Like I said earlier, I wasn't going to mention everything, but from what I've seen from the trailer, everything I spoke about the trailer itself, the characters, and everything, I honestly do feel like this is a really good trailer. I like this trailer. It was enough to get you excited, but not enough to tell you everything about what the movie is. It gives some good shots of some of the characters, some good shots of the scenes, like of both Earth and also Eternia. So there's a lot of good stuff to unpack on this. Okay, so now for my final thoughts of this trailer. Overall, I think it's a great trailer. I love this trailer. From what I talked about, you know, from the scenes I talked about in this, from the characters, from even the stuff I didn't really get time to really mention, I overall think this is a great trailer. I love this trailer. You know, it worked for me. It's actually getting me excited for this movie and what have you. So I do like the trailer. But as we all know, just because something has a great trailer doesn't mean the actual movie is going to be great. Hence, Masters of the Universe Revelations. Yeah, I ain't even going to get into that mess. But anywho, the trailer for this looks really good. Definitely makes me excited about it. Now, there are some concerns that I do have with this movie coming out. One of my main concerns with this movie is I'm afraid it's going to take too much time on Earth. You know, the original movie did that where, like, they spent almost all the time on Earth and then, you know, it became a battle scene in the end. And I'm hoping that they're not doing that. I would love to see more time on Eternia than Earth. You know, part of me doesn't really like the fact that he is on Earth. I would have loved to have the whole thing in Eternia, but I guess that's how they make it relevant. You know, I was hoping they would have learned from that mistake from the first movie, but it is what it is. Like I said, my biggest fear is that they're going to spend too much time on Earth, and then, like, maybe the last 20, maybe half hour, 45 minutes is going to be Eternia. Then he turns to He-Man. They have a big fight. Movie's over. That's my biggest fear with this movie, is that they're going to do something like that. Or that they're not going to make Adam very intelligent. They're going to make him just a big doofus. And that's what that one scene with him trying to pull the sword out made me afraid of, that they're going to do with him. So I hope they don't do that with him. I hope they do make him a strong, intelligent character. Because he always was. Even as Prince Adam, yeah, in like the 2000X, he was a younger version. So he made, you know, teenager mistakes. But even then, he was still an intelligent character. So I'm just hoping that they don't make him a doofus. So those are my two biggest concerns with the movie. So I overall think the trailer was great. It's making me excited to see the movie. I can't wait to see, you know, more information on it or the movie itself. But I also want to know what you guys think. Leave comments. I really want to know if you guys are excited about this movie. If you have no interest in it, did you love the trailer? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments. So with that being said, I also want to give a shout out to everybody who helps make this channel possible. First on that list is Byron Bassett and his alter ego, Humongous. He's a big supporter of the channel. He also does other things that help out. He has his own YouTube channel and some show that he does every Sunday. So go ahead and check out his information in the description. Next on that list is Action Figure Geeks. They're a Reddit channel that I'm part of. They also support this channel. Their info is also there. And Joe Goddard, who has been a big supporter of this channel for some time. He also has his own YouTube channel, so go ahead and check that out. And most of all of you, everybody who likes, shares, subscribes, become members, watches these videos all the way through. I really appreciate every single last one of you. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't be what it is today. So thank you very much. And also check out my Masters of the Universe playlist and my membership program. Plus hit that like, share, and subscribe. They're all small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So until the next one, late.